Tonight on TV2 News, celebrating Movember, well, our reporter Sydney Brown has more behind the tradition.
And Americans seem to be opening up their wallets this holiday shopping season. What this year's Black Friday looked like for many companies.
And there is still no suspect in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. Hear what Moscow police are saying.
And Merriam-Webster announced the word of the year. What word people are looking up to the most? All these stories and more as your Monday edition of TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Kent State and all of Portage County. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Erin Sullivan.
And I'm Nuried Hurtado. We'll start tonight with a Kent Police tradition dedicated to raising money for those with cancer.
That's right. Our reporter Sydney Brown has more on how officers' facial hair is making a difference. Hi, Sydney.
Hi guys, Kent City Police Department is participating in Movember to raise money for local men and women fighting cancer. I spoke to police and dispatchers about the campaign. Kent City Police Department has been spreading awareness since October for breast cancer, and for the rest of November and December will be focused on the No Shave November campaign.
Movember, or No Shave November. And it was a fun opportunity because typically we were not allowed to grow facial hair. It was against department policy for as long as we can remember.
This isn't a new initiative for officers in Kent.
Started with a fundraiser in the month of October. And we lost a female officer to breast cancer about 15 years ago. And her name was Susan Graves. Within a couple years, we had a few police officers who lost their fathers to cancer as well. And it just kind of resonated with us. And we said, we can do more.
We run it in October, November, and December. And it's for breast cancer awareness. And then November and December is our men's health initiative.
And this isn't without a cause. Kent Police donate the money raised to people they call cancer warriors at the Sullivan Cancer Center.
Over the years that we've been doing this, at the 14 years that we have been collecting and donating money back to within the community to the other cancer warriors and survivors, we have probably collected and given out over $20,000.
They're fighting for motivation every day, fighting their diseases. So this little bit of support is huge.
The effort can be seen with the wear of denim, blue streaks in the hair of female officers, themed t-shirts, and facial hair within the police department.
Oh, yeah, everyone's participating.
Really has taken off within other agencies around the community where they do, cancer fundraising as well. And they give back to the community and cancer warriors and survivors as well. And I think that's a great thing that we are able to do this.
The department wants Kent to know that we are all in the battle against cancer. You can still donate to the cause by dropping off a check by the end of December. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Sydney Brown.
Thanks, Sydney. And Kent State held a Zoom seminar earlier discussing sport, politics, peace, and development. The seminar was held over Zoom and had special guests from different schools like University of Texas at Austin, University of Guelph, and even guests from overseas like Ireland. They discussed performative allyship, sustainability, peace, and cultural implications of this year's World Cup. All students and staff were eligible to attend.
USG approved its first ever strategic diversity, inclusion, and equity plan to increase diversification within the organization. Senator at Large for Diversity Ayanna Incuve and President Jenna Gilbreth proposed this plan aiming to create accountability on their diversity and inclusion initiatives. USG says the plan is not set in stone and it's intended to be updated by future USG bodies based on student needs and suggestions.
In Main Street, Kent announced on Instagram that they will be partnering with Kent State to gift $20 e-gift cards to use at local businesses. This partnership is with the Blue, Gold, and Grateful program, and this is the second year it's featured. Now, to get more information on the gift card, you can visit the Main Street website and visit the Shop tab to see the 30 businesses you can use it at. And this offer is only valid through January 31st.
Hello, Portage County in Northeast Ohio. Hope you're having a nice day out there. I'm TV2 weather anchor Odin Amador-Goby with your Monday evening weather forecast. Currently in Kent right now, it is currently cloudy skies out there, 41 degrees. Feels like 38 though. It is definitely a very nice evening out there. A little chilly, but not too bad. The rain showers that we experienced today are mostly gone, so that's some good news. And as we look at your Northeast Ohio temperatures right now, we are dealing with lows heading down to the 40s, 41 in Kent, 42 in Cleveland, Sandusky at 41, Mansfield at 40. It is definitely a gorgeous evening out there. And as you're out and about traveling, the rain showers are going to be gone, so that's some good news. And as we look at your nighttime forecast, we will be dealing with cloudy skies through your 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 11 o'clock with lows down into the lower 30s all throughout the night. So it's going to definitely be a very nice evening out there. That's all I have for now. In my next update, I'll have your 7-day outlook. Back to you guys at the news desk.
Thanks, Odin. Now, Stowe City Council overrode the mayor's veto on meeting requirements for board and commissions. Now, members must hold their meetings in council chambers and broadcast them with equipment in the room. This was originally vetoed by Mayor John Pribonic, but on Wednesday, the council overrode the veto with a vote of 5-2 in favor of passing the ordinance. Now, Stowe boards and commissions must follow the new meeting requirements by February 23rd.
And the village of Manaway has opened an investigation into allegations about a relationship between the police chief and an officer. The village council requested the investigation into the alleged relationship between Chief Joe Urso and Patrol Miranda brothers, after brothers hit a deer and damaged a cruiser. Chief Urso was issued a 2-day suspension held in abeyance for 2 years. Urso and brothers haven't commented on the investigation.
An 18-year-old was shot and killed in East Akron yesterday near the 1100 block of 5th Avenue. Police identified the teen as Dear Smith Jr., who was accompanied by another teen who also was shot but survived. Now, police are investigating evidence left at the scene and have said that the circumstances surrounding the incident are still unknown.
And an Akron firefighter is recovering after suffering minor injuries early today during a house fire. The fire started around 3:30 a.m. on Dodge Avenue. Firefighters arrived and found smoke coming from the attic. The fire was under control in less than 15 minutes and 4 adults were displaced. The firefighter was transported to the hospital and the cause of the fire is still unknown.
And Akron police are investigating a shooting last Friday on the 400 block of Grace Avenue around 6 o'clock in the evening. The shooter fired more than a dozen rounds at a home that was occupied by 3 people at the time. No arrests have yet been made, but police have collected shell casings as evidence.
And more than a dozen people died in car crashes during Thanksgiving, according to the Ohio Highway Patrol data. Ohio Highway Patrol says 16 people died in 15 car crashes between November 23rd and November 27th. 10 people who died on these accidents weren't wearing seatbelts, and 2 of the victims were pedestrians. Also, about 700 people were ticketed for not wearing a seatbelt, and 100 people were ticketed for distracted driving.
TSA has collected new data revealing just how many traveled home for the holidays.
We have updates on the Buffalo mass shooting, what charges the shooter is facing, and what penalty he might get.
Welcome back. Well, it sure was nice to celebrate Thanksgiving last week.
Yes, and a lot has happened. Anthony here has a recap on the holiday weekend on your Consumer Watch. Hi, Anthony.
Thanks, guys. There's a lot that goes on during the holidays. For many, the holiday shopping season started the day after Thanksgiving, otherwise known as Black Friday. According to Adobe Analytics, Black Friday online shopping sales hit $9.1 billion this year. The experts there say that despite economic concerns like inflation, it is a record high number of sales. The main items ordered were electronics and exercise equipment. Experts say the reason for the record-breaking total is likely just higher prices. And sticking with online shopping, online consumers are questioning if Cyber Monday is a thing of the past. The reason is because holiday shoppers are buying products earlier than previous years. Many companies offer online deals up to 3 weeks prior to Cyber Monday, and experts say as more and more people begin shopping early, Cyber Monday could become less relevant in the future. Online shopping can be quick and convenient, but some deals can be deceiving and may lead to scams. Tanner Shin has more on the rising issue of online shopping scams.
Online shopping is fast, easy, and convenient, but sometimes the deals sound too good to be true.
The number one thing is, if it sounds too good to be true, stop and think about it. It probably is.
Experts say the best way to avoid a cyber scam is to double-check everything.
As far as actually going to websites, look at that URL, the actual website that you're going to. You want to make sure that it says, yahoo.com instead of yah00.com. There's a lot of lookalike domains, is what we call them, where it will appear to be correct, but it's not. And they're just waiting to steal your credentials.
They say if you are not positive about something, get a second opinion.
If you've got a techie person in your family, or, reach out and call somebody about it. Just say, hey, is this right? Or, hey, I got this weird email.
When it comes to emails, be wary of attachments.
Don't log into a website unless you normally would. For example, if somebody sends you a link in an email, don't click that email link to go log in. Instead, go to the app on your phone or go to the website that you would normally log into. And then from there, you can go ahead and you can reach into it that way.
If you do find yourself in a situation where you think you may have been scammed or hacked, don't freak out.
If you haven't given them any information, block them. You can report them. If it's something where you say, hey, they actually did remote into my computer and I'm not really sure what they did, at that point, probably call a professional. Just to make sure that they're not going to get access to anything.
The Transportation Security Administration said that air travel has hit a new record in the pandemic era. The agency revealed on Twitter that it screened more than 2.5 million people in the U.S. airports on Sunday. The previous record that was broken was set on July 1st, which was 2.49 million people. And the day before Thanksgiving, TSA nearly matched that number, screening about 2.46 million people. And with high volume of holiday travelers and some weather conditions like snow and rain, many flights around the U.S. were canceled over the weekend, according to FlightWare. More than 1,000 flights were delayed and about 45 were canceled, going in and out of the United States on Sunday morning. And on Saturday, about 2,000 flights were delayed. That's all I have for the holiday recap. I'm Anthony Leonardi with TV2 News.
Oil prices in the U.S. have hit an all-time low. The North American benchmark fell just over 3% today. Meanwhile, the global benchmark Brent crude had a similar drop, with oil prices going down to $81 per barrel. Experts say fears about COVID-19 restrictions and lockdown protests in China have caused less demand, leading to lower gas prices in the U.S. with an average of $3.55 per gallon.
And there could be less waste during holiday season. Scotch brand says it's now taking action by literally thinking outside of the box. The Environmental Protection Agency says plastic in packaging used to send gifts during the holidays is responsible for roughly a third of the nation's trash each year. 3M has released eco-friendly and sustainable mailing products, including packing tape boxes and labels. The packaging, called Packed by Scotch, is composed of recycled products and uses soy-based ink for printing.
Scientists have proposed to change the name of a virus after the most recent outbreak. Experts were concerned the name could create a stigma that would decrease testing and vaccination for this virus. Mpox became the preferred name for monkeypox, especially since it can be used in other languages. World Health Organization say both names will be used for the next year, while the term monkeypox is used with less frequency.
The eruption at Mauna Loa is world's largest active volcano in Hawaii. Begins Sunday.
The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory said the lava is contained in the area and is not currently a threat to the community. The eruption led to an ashfall advisory for early today, and the National Water Service in Honolulu says people with respiratory illnesses should stay indoors and anyone outside should cover their mouth and nose with a mask or cloth.
Welcome back, everyone. Here's a look now at your live radar. And right now we are barely seeing anything on the radar tonight. There's barely anything going on. Like maybe there's a little rain shower that's dissipating here and there. But other than that, it is a gorgeous evening, clear skies all around. Well, it is cloudy out there, but it is clear in terms of rain. But as we look towards your statewide temperatures, we will see that temperatures are in the upper 40s, 42 in Akron, 44 in Columbus, Dayton at 43, Cincinnati at 47, Lima at 43 degrees. It is definitely a very nice evening out there. Definitely a little chilly, so if you're going out and about, please wear a coat. It will definitely help you out during the evening hours. And as we look towards tomorrow's forecast, we will be dealing with cloudy skies throughout the day with a slight chance of a rain shower coming in throughout the day. So make sure you have that umbrella handy just in case. You never know when you might need it. But anyway, as we look at your 7-day outlook, let's talk about it, folks. We will be dealing with mostly cloudy skies for your Tuesday, but then the rain showers will start to come in towards your Wednesday with highs up in the 50s. And then towards Thursday, we'll be dealing with partly cloudy skies as the temperatures start to dip back into the lower 30s. And towards your Friday, we'll deal with partly cloudy skies as the temperatures roll back, almost hitting 50 degrees. And towards your Saturday and Sunday, we'll be dealing with partly cloudy skies for your Saturday with highs in the 50s. And then towards your Sunday with mostly cloudy skies with highs in the 40s. And then towards your Monday, we'll finally deal with some more rain showers with upper highs in the 40s. So it would definitely be a very gorgeous week ahead, mostly a cloudy week ahead, but it'll be good. And that about wraps up my Monday evening weather forecast. Please stay warm and dry out there. Have a great week ahead out there, everybody. Back to you guys at the news desk.
Thanks, Odin. Now, 2 people were extricated from a small plane early Monday in Maryland. They crashed into power lines, causing widespread outages in the surrounding county. Maryland State Police said the pilot was a 65-year-old Patrick Merkel and 66-year-old passenger Jan Williams. Both were rescued from the plane that was stuck about 100 feet above the ground. Officials said both men suffered serious injuries from the crash and that hypothermia was also an issue. Both men were transported to local trauma centers with non-life-threatening injuries.
Our client pled guilty to every count of the indictment, with the full knowledge that he will spend the rest of his life in prison with no chance of parole. Though the federal case continues, his actions today ensure that there will be no state court trial and he will not appeal.
The accused Buffalo mass shooter pleaded guilty today to state charges such as murder, domestic terrorism, and murder as a hate crime. 19-year-old Peyton Gendron is accused of killing 10 people and injuring more than a dozen at a grocery store in a predominantly black neighborhood in May. 11 of the 13 people shot were black, and police believe Gendron targeted them based on race. If convicted, Gendron could face the death penalty.
As University of Idaho students return from Thanksgiving break, they are left on edge because Moscow police still have not yet named a suspect in the killings of 4 university students. CNN's Peter Choi has the updates on this heartbreaking tragedy.
But some of my friends don't, and so I know a lot of the campus doesn't, so it's been pretty empty.
On Sunday following Thanksgiving break, there are few students back on campus trickling back into their rooms. Jacob Beckham is a freshman at the University of Idaho. He's returning to campus after Thanksgiving with his family.
My mom didn't want me to go back.
The university is giving students options for their academic work after the holiday.
To meet the needs of all of our students, we have asked our faculty to work with their classes to allow each student to complete the semester either in person or remotely.
I'm not a good online learner, so if I feel safe on campus, then I should come back.
And freshman James Duvall is also one of the students who came back to campus.
You know, I feel safe, and I did the whole online school thing during COVID, and it did not work out. So I just, came back up here to get the in-person education.
Another student says she feels safe on campus. She says she wants to be in the classroom.
To go to class, because I like to be in class more than going online, and I just like being in person.
University officials say student and employee safety remains a top priority. The school has heightened all security measures on campus, including the Safe Walk program, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mental health services and counseling will be available for anyone in need.
and thousands of people across China are protesting against the regime and its pandemic strategy. Demonstrators say they oppose China's repeat lockdowns and strict quarantines as part of their zero-COVID policy. Among the protesters, many have called for the removal of the Chinese leader Xi Jinping. The protesters started Thursday after a fire killed 10 people, and videos showed how lockdown measures delayed the firefighters. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. What holiday tradition started Sunday and how you can be part of the Christmas countdown.
In sports, a skunk got loose at First Energy Stadium, but did the Browns stink up the field against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Find out in Sunday's highlights.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Welcome back. During Sunday's Browns game in Cleveland against the Buccaneers, a skunk got loose in the stadium, and some say that it may have resulted in Cleveland getting the win.
TV2 Sports anchor Matt Kirali is here to break down the game and give the latest on the rally skunk. Good evening, Matt.
Erin, Nuried, good evening, and that's right. The critter made its way into Cleveland's First Energy Stadium into section 140, going up and down the aisle just like any other fan. However, a security guard safely placed a box over the animal and eventually set it free. But did the Browns make last Sunday even more stinkier by possibly losing to Tom Brady and the Bucs? Let's go to the highlights to find out. There's a look at Browns wide receiver Amari Cooper. Expect a lot from him in this highlight. We'll go early first quarter. This is an end-around play to Anthony Schwartz, a play that the Browns wanted to implement and execute on all season. Finally works, 31 yards to the house, 7-0 Cleveland. Then on the ensuing Tampa Bay drive, quarterback Tom Brady finds wideout Chris Godwin, who reaches across the goal line for the score, and Tampa Bay evens it at 7. We're going to go into the second half now. 7:13 left in the third. Brady finds fullback Keeft for the score, and Tampa Bay goes on top for the first time in the game, 17-10 Bucs. But in the final moments of the fourth, quarterback Jacoby Brissett finds David Njoku on a one-handed catch that will have posters all throughout Northeast Ohio. We're tied at 17 in overtime on a 3rd and 4. Brissett, we told you about Amari Cooper, and he is the loneliest man in Northeast Ohio on this catch, all the way down to the 3-yard line, setting up Nick Chubb on a 2nd and goal. He gets the handoff, and the Browns are winners. The game plan was simple. Give Chubb the rock, win the game. The Browns put a tally win column for the first time since Halloween, improving to 4-7, 23-17 the final. Let's now go to Columbus for the game. Number 3 Michigan at 11-0, I should say, and number 2 Ohio State at 11-0, and the Buckeyes strike first thanks to Emeka Egbuka from C.J. Stroud, 7-0 Bucs in the second. 13-10 Ohio State, but J.J. McCarthy, Michigan quarterback, has something to say about that. He finds a wide open Cornelius Johnson, and he could walk in for the score to put Michigan on top, 17-13. We're going to go to the fourth. It's been back and forth all game long up until right here. Michigan running back Donovan Edwards finds a hole and takes care of the rest. This puts Michigan up 37-23. They add one more, and you're from Columbus, Michigan 45, Ohio State 23. That will do it for us at sports. For more TV2 sports coverage, including how Kent State and high school sports fared over the past week, tune into Sports Corner tonight at 8 o'clock right here on KentWire.com, and follow us on social media at TV2 KSU Sports. For TV2 Sports, I'm Matt Corrali, saying wherever the ball flies in the air, TV2 Sports will be there. Good night.
The 2022 word of the year might be something you've unfortunately dealt with, and it's not so pleasant. Stick around to hear what it is. And welcome back. It's time to break out the Advent calendar for 2022. This holiday tradition signals the official countdown to Christmas, and many retailers are offering a variety of Advent calendars.
That's right, Erin. Some popular offerings include chocolate candy, Legos and other toys, jewelry, wine and cheese, and there are even Advent calendars for our pets, with daily treats for dogs and cats.
And I'd hate to bring it up, but your toxic ex is making headlines. Well, maybe not your ex, but their favorite manipulation tactic. Now, Merriam-Webster's word of the year is, you guessed it, gaslight. The publishing company says gaslighting is the act or practice of grossly misleading someone. The origin comes from the name of a 1938 play where a man tries to make his wife believe she's going insane. One of his tricks is to make the gas lights in the house dim and then deny the lower lighting to his wife. And the term gaslighting was born. Well, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I like Advent a lot more than I like gaslighting. A different kind of thing that's lit.
So, did you get your Advent calendars?
I don't have one yet, but my favorite ones are ones with chocolate, with different little like chocolate gifts.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually have a Lego advent calendar I like to build sometimes.
Look at that. That's exciting. What about you, Matt?
I'm not really like an advent calendar guy, but I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of hate to change the course of the conversation here, but the gaslighting term, I didn't know that was like the meaning behind it. I thought that was really interesting.
I know, right? It's very interesting that people are looking for the meaning of the word.
It is interesting, and you know what? It's funny that it's the most popular term of the year, because that means it's happening a lot and people are looking it up. You're like, what's going on here?
Well,
you know?
I mean, think about it. It's because of misinformation and stuff like that, especially in this post-pandemic world. Like, we're still dealing with a lot of misinformation out there about things.
And toxic exes.
And toxic exes, that too, I guess.
Got that.
That is all we have for you today.
Thanks so much for joining us.
For updates on these stories and more, please visit our website.
And our social media platforms at Kent Wired. I'm Matt Caroli.
I'm Odin Amador-Goby.
And I'm Erin Sullivan.
And I'm Nuried Hurtado. Have a great night, Portage County.